Man, got around. OG7 back here. And guys, it's not fortunate, unfortunate, it's just the reality of what it is. I'm still back east here, taking care of my elderly mom and her ailing husband. I'm doing my dutiful job. And son, it's not even my job, dude. I love my mom. Even though we have different personalities, dude, and we don't see eye to eye because I had a different upbringing than she had. And this is what I want to explain to you youngsters who are of an impoverished ethnicity, whether you're Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Republican, Panamanian. Heck, if you're just a black dude, you know what I mean. If you're a Mexican dude or you're a brown, even if you're a poor Asian dude, man. I want to share this with you. I had a conversation with an African American lady in Vegas, and she didn't understand. I want to share this with you. Let's talk about African Americans because I know more about them and Puerto Ricans than I do about Mexicans. Even though I have a lot of Mexican friends, I didn't grow up around I didn't know what a Mexican was till I moved to California when I was a teenager. I didn't see no Mexicans back east. They are now, but when I was a kid, it was black, white, Puerto Rican, Italian, Russian, and Asian. And I couldn't even tell the difference between the Asians, but there was Asian people. I think they were Chinese, but I don't know. So anyway, let me get to the topic of the story. So what happened was, as you're dealing with different people, you learn their mannerisms and their customs and their culture, right? That's why it's good to have friends of different ethnicities and cultures and nationalities. So I grew up around a lot of black dudes, man. One thing I can say about black dudes, man, they stand on business. This is when I was a younger dude. The newer generation, I don't know what you're on. You're doing some tiny shit like, King. What's the name? What's the rapper, man? T.I., he's got a son named King. This dude's on some bullshit. So anyway, man, he think he hard because his dad's rich, but he's soft as a fucking marshmallow. So what I'm saying, when you hang around black dudes, when I was a kid, they played sports, they fought, they said what they mean what they said. They was good at getting women, they could dance and sing and shit. Because when I was growing up back east, you used to have black dudes around this like, you gotta watch this movie called New Jack City. They would be around like a trash can with fire, and they singing, they drinking Thunderbird, MD 2020, what's the price, 50 twice, you know what I'm saying? And then they had this thing called Shampippo and Ripple, and it was just good times, shooting crap, playing ball, a lot of fighting and stuff, a lot of sports, dude, a lot of smashing women, dude, right? Them was the good old days. Now, youngsters is too soft watching TikTok and Instagram and all that. So how does that have to do with today's video? Well, maximum security prison, don't let your mouth write a check, your cheeks have to cash. Youngsters and nowadays, I see it in the comments, the trolls is all youngsters. I've never had an OG or a middle-aged dude come on my channel with the trolling bullshit because we coming from a generation, dude, like before you can hide behind your computer screen and all that. And yeah, they had guns back in the 60s and 70s, but you only use the gun when the dudes continue to keep whooping your ass because you done lost, and you tell them, hey man, you ain't gonna keep whooping my ass. Like you already whooped my ass 3 times, you ain't whooping it no more. Then you get a pistol, you gotta show him you ain't playing. But you stood on business and you found your business wasn't good as his, but now he think you're gonna be his bench warmer boy. And you say no. So what happens, man, youngsters nowadays, they just run their mouth. And they can't punch their way out of a wet paper bag, but see, that's okay on the street. But when you get to maximum security prison, man, in maximum security prison, don't let your mouth write a check, your cheeks have to cash. So here's what happened. One time I was in prison, man, and there was this dude, man, he was just a quiet dude, and he stayed to himself, man. The dude's name was Chicago, man. So he stayed to himself, but he would gamble, he would gamble. Everybody gambles in prison. And I thought he was a cool dude, man. He was from Chicago. I guess he grew up with like 8 brothers. And the dude, man, he was like, he can handle his business, man. I seen him whoop a lot of dudes. So there was this other youngster in there coming from the street. I think his name was Tommy or Timmy. I don't know. I didn't really associate with a lot of cats, man. But this dude, man, had a loud mouth. He was, yeah, man, on the street, I'm running things. You know who I am? You understand me? And I'm doing this and that, and I'm running things, and I'm this and that. Like, he just running his mouth. And I guess he was somehow kind of known on the street for being like a top drug dealer or something, or a gang member or something. But then what happens when you go to court and you're a drug dealer, they strip you of all your funds and bank accounts and material possessions. And it's called asset seizure. So he's telling war stories of what he used to be. So then he's gambling at the gambling table. And like I said, Chicago was a quiet dude, man. From Chicago, that's why they call him that. I think he came out here on a drug beef or something. Anyway, so they get to gambling, man, and the youngster, man, he just keeps betting and betting, and he's losing and losing and losing, right? So then Chicago was like, okay, man, it's time to ante up. You're going, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to play no more because it's almost time for count time, you know. And the youngster was like, nah, man, I ain't paying you nothing. And Chicago was like, what? Nah, I ain't gonna pay you nothing. What you gonna do, motherfucker? You know who I am, mofo? I'm this and that, whoop-de-whoop, whip-de-whap. So then, you know, this is what I'm hearing in the day room because I'm in my cell. I never went out after yard recall, man, because I got my weight lifting in and everything, and I'm just like, you know, doing my thing, right? In my cell, I'm doing like a lot of stretching and you know, what's it called? Active recovery to prepare for the next day's workout. But I hear them, they by my cell playing poker. I ain't paying you shit, ninja. And you ain't gonna do a mofo thing, right? So Chicago was like, okay. So dude, the next day, man, what happens is they have unlocked for breakfast. And a lot of dudes, they sleep in because they got like soups and they got chips and wham-whams and tuna. Like they skip breakfast because breakfast is really nasty in prison. The only reason I went to breakfast is two things. I had claustrophobia. I needed to get out my cell. And then also, man, like I had work release. I had a program where I went to work. This youngster was new to the pen. So when you're new to the pen, it takes between 90 and 120 days to get either work or school because prisons are overcrowded. So you're just basically on just, you know, prison time. You're doing bad time. You're not getting good time. And the youngster thought he was somebody. So I remember this dude. When the unlock came, they unlocked all your cells, dude. So Chicago went from his cell into the youngster's cell, and then when he slammed the door, you can when you leave your cell, you can shut the door. You can wait for the guards to shut it automatically with the button. So he shut the door. The youngster was in the bed, dude, and I never knew Chicago was into this kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. You never know somebody till you have to spend time with them and you live with them. He wasn't my cellie. What I mean by live, when you're in maximum security prison, you living in like a fish bubble, like a dome. You see the same people every day. You eat with them, sleep with them, train with them, go to school, work with them. I never knew Chicago was on this kind of time. That's what I'm trying to tell you, youngster. You don't know somebody till you know somebody. He was a cool dude, but he had hands, and he used to be whooping on dudes in the basketball court and everything, the poker table. And this youngster didn't know. He's new, and he's in his bunk sleeping on his belly because he's a youngster. Man, Chicago went up in there. So you know you're sleeping on your belly and your jaw is up like that. Chicago went up there and just rained down a flurry, man, a hell flurry, and doom, doom, doom. And I forgot to tell you, Chicago was like a nice side dude. He was like 6'2", maybe 220. You know what a basketball player built, was just real lean. And he just boom, boom. So youngster's knocked out. He pulls youngster's pants down, just goes balls deep up in him. All kind of different positions. Lifting his butt cheeks up in there, slap. Yeah, you ain't gonna pay me. You gonna pay me. You gonna pay me, motherfucker. And then by the time he was done, the youngster's butt cheeks was like with red mixed with poop and semen, dude. Because like, you know, some people, they defecate or they do a bowel movement when they wake up. But since youngster slept in, he was just like, oh, when I wake up, I'm gonna take a dump, you know. So he had the feces up in there, and then when somebody goes up in you and you're not like ready for it, man, your muscles aren't relaxed. And then it's I got a fly in here. Your muscles aren't relaxed, so they just forcefully going in. And Chicago just ripped his cheeks open, man. And so then the youngster, man, he was laying there convulsing and shit, man. Unlocked Chicago comes out, you know, goes and takes a shower, man. And then he just sits in the day room like nothing happens, you know what I'm saying? And the youngster's just in there crying. So then the youngster's cellie comes in, and there's nothing but like poop and semen and blood like all over the youngster's bed, you know what I'm saying? And in prison, man, when you're a real G, not like Crazy Stories who be messing with the Bloods up north in Sacramento, you know, he's an informant. You don't tell the police nothing. So his cellie was like, what the fuck? So the cellie went back out so they don't think he did it. So then the youngster gets up, man, and he hobbles over to the fucking shower and he's washing his ass like that. And then the dude rolled up, he PC'd up, man. So the moral of the day's story is this, guys. Especially to you youngsters, man. You might be a hard mofo on the street. You might have a reputation, you might have power, you might have a circle of influence. But when you go to maximum security prison, the probability, you see, this is what I want to tell you youngsters. The probability of you and your homies all going to the same prison is very slim because the prison people know. They look at your crime, they look at your rap sheet, they look at the court documents. Bobby Joe, Fred, Harry, John, and Luke was all drug dealers and robbing people and then did kidnapping. They're going to make sure you all go to different prisons. So you might end up in a prison where you know somebody that knows of you or heard of you, but they're not your original homies, dude. And when you write a check that your cheeks have to cash, dude, that ain't what you want to do. So if you like the content in today's video, man, thumbs up the video, man. You know, show me some support. Leave a comment for the algorithm. Let me know what you think about that story, what youngsters got facing for them. And more importantly, if you're new to the channel, subscribe so I can get my subscriber count up to 100K. Because I've noticed it's still 20% of you guys aren't subscribing. So why are you over here messing with your boy, man? Like, nothing's free in life. Listen to me. If you sat this long through my video, you'd be paying with your time, and time is life. I've given you some jewels. So just pay me what I'm asking for. It's free, man. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification all bell so you know when I'm going to do another video. And until next time, OG Silverback out.